Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I wouldn't be myself if I didn't mention the Sacramento and Clipper game last night. I win 176 to 175, double overtime. I just saw the highlights of it just now, and Russell Westbrook, 14 assists, 7 turnovers. A couple of them turnovers that ultimately weren't very helpful for the Clippers. But you talk about 175 points and still losing. I don't know. They shot. I think Kawhi Leonard had 75%. He shot 44 points or something like that. Malik Monk went for a career high 45 points. He looked unbelievable. By the way, Laker fans, if you watch my videos, I've been trying to figure out who the best shooter the Lakers have had over the last 10 years, not named Malik Beasley. And it's actually Malik Monk. it actually is Malik Monk. I forgot about our very own Malik Monk from last year, who's probably the best pure shooter we've had in the tenure that I've been watching the Lakers, period, pretty much. We've had guys who shoot the ball very well, obviously, but just pure shooters. I was trying to figure out who the heck. We never get shooters. Even back in the day, we wouldn't get quote-unquote shooters. We would always forego opportunities to have those players, let them go to other teams, and then get guys who can do a combination of other things along with the ability to shoot. But just a pure Malik Beasley, just take 12 threes and that's it. We don't usually have those guys on our roster. So I was trying to figure out who it was. Who was the best shooter? I was thinking of guys like Sasha Vujacic and various dudes who wore the uniform. But the person who came to mind just now, obviously, is Malik Monk. It's Malik Monk. That was the best shooter the Lakers have had, to my memory, more or less, in the modern era. So it's the truth, man. It's really the truth. The Lakers do not, even in the Shaq and Kobe era, we would not get ourselves any shooters. Anyway, enough of that. Clippers, Kings. Obviously, you want to give credit to both teams on both sides. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna tell y'all like I truly believe. The way the games are officiated today allow for the scores to be as high as they are. You wouldn't see these type of scores if they wasn't messing with the games and the way they're played right now. You wouldn't. Now, granted, a lot of efficiency, was definitely high. So even if this game was played in the 90s and 80s and 70s, these two teams would have scored more points than most on, just on this particular night. But I don't know, man. I'm not one of those people that believe that this is not a problem, that everything we're seeing is just normal and there's nothing to be seen here in regards to the manipulation in the numbers. It definitely is. And this score is yet another example of that. 176, 175, 2 overtimes. Come on, man. And then people get mad at you when you say bring defense back. So they call you a casual or whatever. Nah. This is somebody who's watched this game for over 30 years who knows what he's looking at. They're manipulating it. They're manipulating it. They're allowing for certain things to take place by way of the game's officiating. And so that's what I see there. And it's very detailed science. It's not like it's as simple as, they're calling funny calls. No, it's a lot of stuff that comes together to make it look like this. But yeah, it's manipulated and it's trash. And that's why I want them to bring back hand checking or some variation of defense. That just allows for a bit more consistency in regards to what it is we would otherwise see, if not for inflated scores. So that's where I'm at with it, man. There was good contested, plays down there. You saw guys contesting 3-point shots. It wasn't like guys were just watching 3-point shooters shoot in this game. There was a lot of physicality, a lot of effort on the defensive end that was able to be seen. So I don't want to paint the picture as if guys weren't giving defensive effort. They were fighting their tails off. But at the end of the day, it's just the way the environment is set up, the way the NBA is set up, the way the games are allowed to be officiated, the way what is considered a foul, what's not. That's how they do it. That's how they allow for this nonsense. So it is what it is, man. I know people are enjoying it. It's obviously fun to watch, but you just know better. When you watch this game for a long time, you know when things are inflated, and this is by far the most inflated era that I've been alive to see the NBA play. So I'd like it to come to an end. I really would. I like the way the shot creation is definitely on high display. You can see the evolution of that particular aspect of the game. Guys are able to get off their own shots, get shots for others, all types of different stuff. It's just evolving, but defense is not. And that's the problem. The offense is evolving, but defense is going the other way. And that, my friends, is definitely something the NBA is doing to the game. It's not necessarily something that would happen naturally as the game would evolve, and that's my problem with it. So it is what it is. It makes for a very nice and fun, free-flowing, arcade-like video game-like matchup. And the pace was really, really fun. When you put De'Aaron Fox and Russell Westbrook on the same floor, you're going to have a faster paced game. It just is what it is. And that's, I think, was also part of what we saw down there. We talk about Russell Westbrook and how he would attack so twice as fast as everybody else. And if he just had offensive players who would allow him to feed them at the same rate that he would like to, you would see ridiculously inflated numbers. And so with the Lakers, it was hard to get him going like that because there was always a need to put the ball in other people's hands. And he would always make mistakes that would ultimately take it out of his hands as well. But if you give him the ball and then you give him super hyper talented offensive talent all the way around him and have it so that he's not eating up $47 million worth of cap space to keep them from being talented, you can see what the Clippers had like there, where he put up 14 assists and they put up 175 points and lost. Because that's exactly what you expect to happen. So it is what it is. I'm not sad. He solidified himself as one of the great Clippers of all time by just playing in this one singular matchup, because that's literally how type of game it was, and that's how little history they have. So it is what it is. They lost the game, and it wasn't because they didn't fight. That's for sure. But the Sacramento Kings just happened to get one more play. Got to give De'Aaron Fox credit for having the legs down the stretch of the game to still close it out, even with 2 overtimes left. He had plenty left in the tank, and that's ultimately what his conditioning, his genetics allow for. So I don't look at the Kings as a contender, to be honest with you. Even though they're in the 3rd spot, I think that's skewed by the fact that other teams are getting better. To be honest with you, they're just gonna have to deal with that, just like the rest of us. But at the end of the day, they're not losing the games they're supposed to be losing, and otherwise make me look good here. The Kings are still winning. They won a game like this against a legitimate Clipper contending team. And, if I want to double back and give the Clippers some credit, I got to say their new pieces look very, very good together. Mason Plumlee, Russell Westbrook, Gordon, those guys look really good on the floor together. So I think synergy will be found quickly with that unit. And Russell Westbrook definitely will have less empty plays with playing with guys like Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, who are just going to finish more plays for him than the Lakers players, teammates did for him. It just was what it was. Half the time we didn't have a healthy Anthony Davis. Half the time Russell Westbrook was on the floor with guys like JTA and a bunch of point guards on the floor with him. It just ain't going to be the same dynamic with the Clippers. Bringing him in at $700,000 and then having a full team worth of talent around him that's already deeper than most. So, the Clippers don't have any reason to hang their head, obviously. When you put up that many points, you happen to not win. You want to get a little more stops than what they did, but ultimately you just want to be able to outlast the other team and walk away from it feeling the way they basically did, feeling like you could have won. So, I don't think this is the end of the 176, 175 scores, by the way. I don't think so. You're going to see more of this. And so everybody just brace yourselves. This ain't the end of that. And, it just speaks to what it takes to win a championship now. If you can't score this amount of points and you can't last through 2 overtimes plus, you may not win a championship. And that's what we were talking about yesterday. Before this game was even played, we were talking about you need to be able to win 1 overtime, 2 overtime, 3 overtimes. Because that's one of the things my team had trouble with early in the season. It cost us wins. We would play good regulation matchups, but then we go to overtime, have nothing left. So if you're going to beat a team, if you're going to beat anybody in this league, you better have enough energy to outlast the clock. So that's one thing we could say about the Clippers and the Kings. They definitely showed a whole lot of energy, and it's a playoff matchup. At the end of the day, you're looking at a playoff atmosphere there, and that's exactly what you expect to see from just about every Western Conference matchup for the rest of the season. These teams are all playing for something. They all put their back against the wall. They all got teams like the Lakers and the Blazers and the Thunder on their backside, and they need to win. Everybody in the West needs to win. So that's what we saw, man. The tip-top playoff atmosphere from those 2 contending teams, California teams. And it was historic, man. 2nd highest scoring game in the history of the sport. Individual numbers all over the place for Clippers and Kings alike. So I encourage everybody to go check out those highlights. And that's what I got to say, man. Please bring a return to defense, though. Really, honestly. And I'm not talking about just simply having guys put in effort. We're talking about the stats, or rather the way the game is officiated. We need it to return to allowing guys to play defense in a real way. That's what I got to say, man. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.